We're in probably somewhat more uncharted or unidentifiable territory here. I'm in the northern three counties, a bit of Hebei between Beijing and Tianjin, who want to become Beijing, but apparently aren't that yet. The three counties of Sanhe, Dachang, and Xianghe so far have been getting a really bad transport deal, but the high-speed bridge, which opened in late 2022, brings high speed to it for the very first time. In this edition of Rail+Road, we do exactly that. Do Rail+Road into the three counties stuck between Beijing and Tianjin.
The counties of Sanhe, Dachang and Xianghe, part of Langfang prefectural level city in Hebei, find themselves sandwiched between the centrally governed municipalities of Beijing and Tianjin. Known as the northern three counties, they're a bit of a confusing melange. They want to integrate closer with Beijing, yet changing their provincial administrative area from Hebei to Beijing requires a lot of bureaucracy from the central authorities. The newest plans, however, call for close integration and better planning, so to allow them to get closer to Beijing, so to speak. For quite some time, the only major rail connection any of the three counties had was the Beijing to Harbin Railway, which only had Yanjiao and Sanhe county stations serving passengers. The others, such as Sanping, Dachang County and Duanjialing, were closed to passenger service. All stations with passenger services were in the northernmost county, Sanhe, with Dachang and Xianghe missing out. The main highway through this part of northern China was National Highway 102, which was mostly in Sanhe County, although a portion of it goes through Dachang. Other through routes include motorway G1 through Xianghe and other routes running mostly north-south. Yanjiao town in Sanhe County finds itself right across the river from Beijing. Its station has been thoroughly redone and now features dedicated platforms on the Beijing-Tangshan intercity railway. Yes, indeed, that very railway connected all three counties, a genuine godsend to this area. The population of this area is actually enough to give the station 2 levels dimensions-wise, making it the largest of all three stations in this part of Hebei stuck between Beijing and Tianjin when it comes to the levels made available for passengers. Yanjiao town is a weird mix between trying to be Beijing and actually not being Beijing at all. It has a handful of Starbucks but is still developing into a pseudo-Beijing, whilst not administratively part of the capital. The seat of government of Sanhe County is further east, and here it's definitely not feeling very Beijing-ish at all, except for maybe the outer districts of the capital. Dachang, officially the Dachang Autonomous County, has a station as well, and this one has been built to resemble a palace. It's one of the most artistically impressive of the three, and is certainly well worth a look. The county of Dachang too has some unique architecture, as well as other parts of the county that appear like most other counties this part of northern China. By the way, don't confuse the artistically wow Dachang station with Dachang County Station, somewhat less artistic, and certainly not hosting any passenger trains right now. Xianghe is known as northern China's IKEA city, if you will, because avenues and blocks full of home furnishing shops appear to be just about everywhere. Granted, the railways won't be happy if you try to carry a sofa with you on board a train, but there's also a station in the vicinity. By platform count, it's the biggest of all three, 6 platforms in all, and it's big because it'll host an extra line, this time an intercity loop around Beijing in the future. East of Xianghe at Baodi Station, the 2 intercity routes Beijing to Tangshan and Beijing to Binhai go their own ways after that stop. It's also the point where east of Xianghe outright 350 km/h services can begin, as until this point the intercity route snaked itself through all three counties, sometimes reducing speeds as low as 200 km/h. But that's not just the sole project to benefit the 3 northern counties of Hebei. The Pinggu line of the Beijing subway is also expected to see a few stops in Yanjiao, and there's talk of moving the capital checkpoints from the border with Beijing to that with Tianjin. It probably wouldn't happen overnight, but local authorities are deliberating the plans already. And there you have it, Rail+Road in the 3 northern counties of Langfang, Hebei, stuck between Beijing and Tianjin.